Hi everyone, I'm Monica Santanum and welcome back to Keeping Up with the Capitol. In this episode, we're going to be going over the process of how a bill becomes a law. Most students probably have a good idea of how a bill becomes a law, but there's a lot of important details along the way that we're going to be going over in this video. Signing bills into law are a great way in order to get public interest represented legally through actual legislation. Starting off, remember that we have a bicameral Congress. This means that our legislative branch has two parts, the House and the Senate. The House and the Senate go through similar processes in order to get a bill approved and sent up to the president's desk to sign into law. A bill can only be introduced by a member of the House itself. The member of the House can introduce it themselves or work with public interest or fellow members in order to propose the bill. From there, the bill will be assigned to a committee within the House, and from that committee, probably a subcommittee within that parent committee. That subcommittee will then conduct research, do hearings, hear out public interest and public opinion about the bill, and revise it as needed. Once that's finished, the bill will be sent up to its parent committee, and that committee will go under a vote to order the bill out of committee. This process is essentially to push the bill from committee approval to a general vote on the House floor in order to send the bill up to the Senate. It's important to note that not all bills actually make it out of committee. In fact, most are pigeonholed, which means they're never ordered out of committee. There is a way to get over a pigeonhole, however, and that's through a discharge petition. A discharge petition needs an absolute majority of the House to agree, or 218 members, and this allows a bill that's been sitting in committee for at least 30 days to move out of committee to a general House debate. From here, the bill moves on to a general House vote. There are many rules that are set during the debate on the House floor, but the most important rules are determining whether the bill is being debated under an open, closed, or restricted rule. Under an open rule, any amendments or changes to the bill will be entertained, while under a closed rule, no changes can be made. Under a restricted rule, certain changes will be entertained depending on the committee and the rules that are set out during the debate. A closed rule is typically used when a committee wants the bill that's being debated to pass as is without any changes from opposing members, parties, or interest groups. From here, the bill has finally passed the House and is moving on to the Senate. In the Senate, there's actually a lot less restrictions on floor debate about the bill. In the House, any amendments made to a bill have to be germane, which means they relate to the content of the bill. However, this law does not exist in the Senate. Any amendment can be proposed by any member of the Senate and can be added on to the bill, and it doesn't have to relate to the bill's purpose. These amendments are usually referred to as riders. Some of these amendments in the Senate can also be referred to as poison pill amendments. Poison pill amendments work in a couple of different ways. For example, if the bill introduced falls in line with the president's viewpoint, which would make it more likely for it to be passed, the opposing party in the Senate may tack on a poison pill amendment to add on something they want to see, but the president may not want. In this case, the president supports the majority of the bill and may be reluctant to veto it, causing them to pass the bill along with the provision that the opposing party inserted. On the other hand, if the president doesn't like a bill overall, members of the Senate may add on provisions that the president desperately wants enacted, forcing them to sign an otherwise objectionable bill into law. But we also have to keep in mind that a lot of these bills never get to the president's desk anyway. This is where we get to one of the most hotly contested issues of the modern day, the Senate filibuster. The filibuster is essentially a tool used to talk a bill to death. In this case, the debate does not end with a proper compromise or ending for an extremely long amount of time. And with enough talking, debate about the bill either gets abandoned, or if Congress adjourns, then the bill has to restart its journey all over again in the next congressional session. The filibuster can be broken by something called a cloture vote. This vote must be proposed by 16 senators and then approved by 3/5 of the Senate, or 60 senators. After a cloture vote is enacted, each senator only gets 1 hour of debate left, and after that, a proper vote must be conducted. And finally, after moving on to the Senate, we finally get the bill to the president's desk. But wait, there's more. The president can actually take 3 different actions when it comes to the bill. The first one is simply to sign it into law. The second one is to veto it. A presidential veto can only be overturned by approval of 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate. This process is pretty uncommon over the history of the country so far. The final thing to do is simply do nothing. If the president doesn't sign a bill into law, it'll automatically become a law within 10 days of being presented on the president's desk. However, if Congress adjourns within those 10 days, this is known as a pocket veto. In this case, the bill will not automatically become a law and it'll have to restart its process all over again in the next congressional session. Okay, that was a long process, but I hope those were some really important details that you understood and got cleared up in today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.